Welcome to the Prescott Lab Podcast, not just theory, practical science for everyone. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott, a physician and integrative medicine researcher at the Ravenshade Institute for Human Health, where we study the body not just by numbers but by stories. Stories like yours. Let me start with a quiet truth many men carry but rarely say out loud. After 60, something begins to shift. Not just in the body, but in how a man feels about that body. You look in the mirror and the man's staring back. He's still you, but maybe something feels a little less certain, less fire, less response. And the question lingers, is this it, or is there more? What if I told you that the answer, the spark, might not be in a pill, but in your own hands? Not a supplement, not a prescription, but a small ritual. Something ancient, something simple, something that reminds your body how to say yes again. And before we go any further, I'd like to ask you something small but powerful. If this message speaks to you, if you believe that age does not erase desire, go ahead and click that like button. Not just to support this podcast, but to send a signal to yourself, to your body, that you're ready. I believe there's a kind of quiet luck that follows men who take that step. A man who clicks like today might just find himself sleeping deeper, walking stronger, or even smiling more. And if you're feeling that, leave me a comment. Even just a one will do. If not today, then maybe tomorrow. But I'll be here reading every word. Now let's begin, because today's topic, tapping 3 points on your body to restore performance, isn't just a technique. It's a conversation between your hands and your nervous system. It's about reclaiming what age never truly took away. And in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through how this works, why it's rooted in science, and how it could change the way you feel about yourself, your body, and your connection. Let's dive in. 1. Why erections change after 60 and why it's not your fault. Let me take you inside a conversation I've had hundreds of times. Thomas, 69, retired engineer from North Carolina, sat across from me with the quiet frustration that so many men carry. He looked down, then up, and said, "Doc, I still want to, but my body, it just doesn't follow anymore." And here's what I told him, the same thing I want you to hear now. This is not your fault, not your failure, not your weakness. And absolutely not the end. After 60, your body doesn't break, it shifts. Blood flow to the pelvic region slows, nerve signals fade, hormones recalibrate, and stress, the silent, unrelenting kind, begins to interrupt the conversation between your mind, your blood vessels, and your desire. But here's the truth no one says out loud: your body still wants to respond. It just isn't hearing the signal clearly anymore. See, erections aren't just physical, they're neurological. They only happen when your nervous system feels safe, when you're calm, grounded, at ease. But most men are living in a constant state of pressure, mental, emotional, even physical. And you can't force your way back to intimacy. You have to invite it. That's why this approach, the one we're diving into today, doesn't rely on pills or pressure. It begins with something much simpler: your hands, a quiet rhythm, a physical signal that says to your nervous system, you're safe. You're still here, you're allowed to feel again, you're not broken, your body is waiting for the right kind of reminder. And tapping, gentle, intentional tapping, is that reminder. It's not magic, it's communication. It sends a message through your skin, into your nerves, straight to the parts of your brain that still remember what connection feels like. And the best part, you don't need anyone else to do it. It's yours in your own hands. So let me ask you, when was the last time you touched your body not to fix it, but to simply say, "I still believe in you"? If that question stirred something, I want you to type one word in the comments below: reconnect. That's it. Just one word, because sometimes the first step isn't fixing anything. It's remembering what was never truly lost. In the next part, I'll show you where to begin. It's a small spot just beneath your belly button, often overlooked, yet incredibly powerful. Let's find it together. 2. CV6, reigniting the core. The first time I showed this to a patient, he raised an eyebrow. "Really, doc? Just tap here?" He was 71, widower, Vietnam vet. Still had the strength in his hands, but he hadn't felt connected to his body in years. I nodded, placed 2 fingers just below my own belly button, and said, "Yes, right here, CV6, Sea of Energy." He chuckled, then tried it. And in less than a minute, he went quiet. Not because something dramatic happened, but because something stirred. A memory, a feeling, something he hadn't touched in a long time. CV6 is a pressure point known for centuries in Eastern medicine and now increasingly studied in the West. It's located about 2 finger widths beneath your navel. Simple, right? But don't let the simplicity fool you. This point sits directly above the deep pelvic nerves and vessels that feed arousal, vitality, and physical readiness. When you tap here gently, rhythmically, you're not just waking up circulation, you're waking up memory, muscle memory, emotional memory, sexual memory. You're reminding your system that this part of you still matters. For many men, this area carries more than stagnation. It holds disappointment, shame, silence, the kind of heaviness no scan can show, but you feel it when you're alone at night. And tapping this point with care isn't about fixing. It's about acknowledging. One of my patients, Roger, 66, said it best. "Doc, it felt like I was finally saying to my body, I'm still with you. So here's what I want you to do. Take a moment. Place 2 fingers just below your belly button and breathe. Then gently tap, not hard, not fast, just enough for your body to notice. Try it for 30 seconds, that's all. You don't need to feel fireworks. You just need to feel something. And if you do, tell me in the comments. One word: alive, because even if it's just a flicker, that flicker is yours, and from here it only gets stronger. Next, we're going to talk about a point that most men never associate with intimacy, yet it may be the key to calming the mind when everything else fails. And it's sitting right beneath your feet. Let's keep going. 3K1 grounding the body. You might not expect this, but some of the most important signals in your body don't come from your chest or your head or even your core. They rise up from your feet. I'll never forget Alan. He was 68, a former truck driver from Ohio, broad-shouldered, soft-spoken, and stubborn in the way only a man who's survived life on the road can be. He sat across from me, arms crossed, and said, "Doc, I've got the desire. I've got the partner, but when the moment comes, I just vanish." He tapped his temple. "It's like I get hijacked up here, and then everything else just shuts down." I nodded. I'd heard that before. And that's when I introduced him to a point no one ever talks about in men's health. K1, bubbling spring. Located just beneath the ball of your foot, the soft hollow where the arch begins. He blinked. "My feet. What do they have to do with sex?" "Everything. You see, K1 is tied to the kidney meridian in Eastern medicine, the energy channel that governs fear, vitality, and reproductive function. When you tap this point gently and intentionally, you're sending a signal up through the nervous system that says, you're safe, you're here, let go." And Alan, he didn't believe it at first, but he tried it. Each night, 30 seconds per foot. And a week later, he came back and said, "My breath slowed, my mind wasn't racing. And for the first time in years, I stayed present. Here's why it works. Tapping the soles of your feet draws your awareness downward, out of your thoughts and into your body. Out of performance anxiety, into presence. If you've ever felt your thoughts hijack your body right when you needed connection, this step is for you. So give it a try, sit, breathe, tap just under the ball of your foot, one side, then the other. You're not forcing anything, you're grounding yourself. And if something shifts even slightly, let me know in the comments. Type the word steady, because sometimes that's all it takes. Not more desire, not more testosterone. Just more steadiness. In the next part, we'll finish this sequence with a point that resets your entire system from the top down. It's a place most men never touch, but once they do, the clarity is unmistakable. Let's move there now. 4GV20, calming the mind. There's a moment some men describe right before everything shuts down, not in their body, but in their mind. The thoughts race, the pressure rises, and just like that, the body retreats. That's what Richard, 72, told me. He leaned forward, voice steady, but eyes full of frustration. "Doc, my body's willing, but my mind, it won't stay quiet. I get in my head and it's over before it begins." I knew exactly what he meant. For many men over 60, it's not about desire or ability. It's about noise. Years of unspoken fear, past disappointments, pressure to perform, all circling like static. And that's where GV20 comes in. It's called the 100 meetings point. Located right at the crown of your head, the soft spot, the summit, the meeting ground of energy pathways in both ancient theory and modern neurology. When you tap here gently but steadily, something begins to clear. The fog lifts, the noise softens, and what's left is space, the kind where presence can finally return. Richard was skeptical. But he tapped 30 seconds before intimacy, just as I'd shown him. And afterward he said something that stuck with me. For the first time in years, I wasn't in my head, I was in the moment. That's what GV20 offers. Not a switch you flip, but a door you open where body and mind finally sync again. So here's your invitation. Take your fingers, place them gently at the very top of your head where the skull feels broad and open, and tap. Breathe as you do, feel your thoughts slow, even if just a little. You're not trying to be perfect. You're just learning how to be present, and if you feel something shift, even if it's just quiet, let me know. Type the word clear. Because that's what we're after, not performance, not pressure, just clarity, the kind that lets your body remember how to respond. Now that we've touched all 3 points, the core, the grounding, and the crown, it's time to bring them together. Not in theory, but in practice. A simple 90-second ritual that's helped hundreds of men reconnect with themselves in ways they never thought possible. Let's walk through it next. 5. The 90-second ritual. You've learned the points. CV6, the core, K1, the feet, GV20, the crown. Now comes the question I always hear. Okay, doc, how do I actually do this? It's simpler than you think, and more powerful than you'd ever expect. What I teach my patients is something I call the 90-second ritual, a practice so short you can do it before bed, before intimacy, or any time you need to reconnect. And no, you don't need candles, mantras, or incense, just your hands, your breath, and a little bit of willingness. Here's how it works. Step 1, sit somewhere quiet. No screens, no noise, just you and the moment. Place your fingers just below your belly button, CV6, and begin to tap gently. Not hard, not fast. Breathe as you do. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Stay here for 30 seconds. Step 2. Move your hands to the very top of your head, GV20. Tap lightly. Let your breath stay calm. You're not trying to silence your mind, just invite it to soften. Another 30 seconds. Step 3. Lean forward and tap the soles of your feet right beneath the balls at K1. One foot, then the other. 15 seconds each. As you do this, let your awareness drop out of your head, down into your body. Let go, that's it. 90 seconds. But for many men, those 90 seconds become the start of something far more lasting. This practice is not about chasing a result. It's about remembering what still works inside you. And for some, the shift comes quickly. For others, it takes a few nights. But the key is this: consistency over perfection. You're not performing, you're returning, so I invite you to try it tonight, not as a fix, as a way of saying, I'm still here. And if you do and something shifts, even a flicker-type ritual in the comments, let me know you started. Because once you begin, your body often follows. In the next part, I'll walk you through what you might expect in the first few days and how to recognize the signs that your system is finally, gently waking up again. Let's keep going. 6. What you may notice. One of the first questions men ask me after starting the tapping ritual is, Doc, how will I know if it's working? And I always say this: you might not feel fireworks. You might just feel a flicker. Sometimes it's a warmth, low in your belly, or a tingling in your legs. Sometimes it's even quieter, a deeper breath, a softer thought, a night where sleep feels a little easier. And other times, it feels like nothing at all. But let me be clear, that doesn't mean nothing's happening, because tapping doesn't flip a switch. It opens a door. And when that door has been closed for years, it takes a little time for the light to come in. I remember Paul, 70, divorced, living alone in Montana. He tapped every night for a week and told me. Nothing happened for 3 days, but then one morning I stood up and felt strong. Not like a teenager, but like myself. That's what this work does. It doesn't make you someone else. It brings you back to who you were before shame, silence, and stress got in the way. And here's what to look for. You might notice more sensitivity, not just physically, but emotionally. You might catch yourself standing taller. You might speak with more steadiness. You might feel more connected to your partner or to your own skin. These are signs your body is listening again, so don't look for instant results. Look for quiet changes, subtle wins, moments where you feel just a bit more like you. And when they come, celebrate them, not with pressure, with presence. If you've already started and felt even one small shift, a deeper breath, a better night's rest, a little more confidence, I want you to comment below with one word: noticing. Because awareness is the first step to healing. Next, I'll walk you through a simple 7-day rhythm to build this into your life gently, without force. Let's make this something that sticks. 7. Your 7-day rhythm. You don't need a lifestyle overhaul. You don't need to become someone new. All you need is 7 days. That's what I tell every man who sits across from me and says, "Doc, I want to feel different, but I don't know where to begin." So let's begin here with a rhythm. A quiet routine that doesn't demand anything from you except that you show up for yourself. Each evening, before bed or before intimacy, or just when the house gets quiet, set aside 2 minutes. That's all. 2 minutes for your body, 2 minutes for your presence. Start with your core, tap below your belly button for 30 seconds, breathe slowly. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Feel the center of you come online. Then move to the top of your head. Tap gently like you're waking up a thought that's been sleeping. Let the noise begin to fade. Finally, tap the soles of your feet right under the balls. 15 seconds per side. As you do, imagine your energy settling. You're not floating in thought. You're rooted again. That's it. No tracking, no journaling, just you returning to yourself for a few quiet moments each night. And here's what I invite you to do. Don't judge the results. Don't expect a miracle by Thursday. Just observe. Notice how you breathe when you wake up. Notice how you feel in your own skin when you move. Notice how you show up for your partner, for your body, for yourself. One of my patients told me, after 5 nights, I wasn't just sleeping better, I was walking taller. Like my body remembered who I was. So give yourself that chance. 7 days, no pressure, just presence. And if you start tonight, even just a quiet try, type day 1 in the comments. Let me know you're in. Because sometimes, all a man needs is to take the first step and be reminded he's not walking it alone. In the next part, I'll take you deeper into something most men don't expect: the emotional return. The part where you stop fixing and start reconnecting with who you've always been. Let's talk about that next. 8. Reconnecting with yourself. There's a kind of grief most men never name. It's not just about fading erections, it's the loss of feeling like yourself, that quiet sense of confidence, the grounded presence, the knowing in your body, in your breath, that you are a man fully alive. I've seen it in the way a man avoids his own reflection, in the way he lowers his voice when asking the hard questions, in the silence between what he feels and what he no longer trusts. But here's what I want you to hear clearly and without hesitation. You are not gone, you are not broken, you are not past your prime. The part of you that once felt steady, connected, and open, it's still here. Waiting. This practice, this quiet 90-second ritual, it's not just about arousal, it's about relationship between you and your body, you and your worth, you and the man you've always been. One of my patients, Louis, 65, jazz musician from San Antonio, said something that still echoes in my heart. He told me, "Doc, I didn't realize how much I missed feeling like me." That line, that's what this is really about. Not chasing youth, not impressing anyone, just coming home to yourself. So tonight, if you tap, whether it's the first time or the 50th, try something. As you breathe, say quietly to your body, "I still believe in you," because that belief, that's the beginning of everything. And before I close, let me say this, something most doctors don't say enough: I'm proud of you, not because you've arrived, but because you showed up. That takes courage, and it matters. If this message touched something in you, I'd love for you to do 2 things. First, tap the like button, not for me, but as a signal to yourself. A small act that says, I choose to keep showing up. I've seen it again and again. The men who take that little step often feel something shift in their sleep, in their mood, even in their posture. Second, leave a comment. Tell me what you felt. Ask what's on your mind. Say something you've never said out loud. Because here you'll be heard. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. This isn't just a podcast. It's a circle of men reclaiming what aging never truly took away. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott. And until next time, stay steady, stay open, and remember, you're not behind, you're just arriving.